on, guys? We're going to do a little bit of show and tell today. Haltech sent some new widebands. These are new. Hang on, I got to shut off a Bluetooth speaker that's going to cause some feedback. Anyway, we got some. Damn it. New widebands that came in from Haltech. This is the new design. I figured you guys might want to check these things out. This is the first time I'm seeing one. These use a new LSU 4.9 sensor. These also don't need free air calibration like the old ones did. CAN bus cable. Wait a minute. Did I get old ones or new ones? Ah, false alarm. I got old ones. This is what I get for opening stuff up live on camera. Okay, well, skip the widebands. Haltech does have a new wideband that's coming out. I thought I was going to get the new ones. I got restock of some of the old ones. So I can fill some of the old orders. But the new ones are waterproof and use the newer sensor. It's the same exact thing. It's just the new style box. And I believe they changed the cabling a little bit for the... I believe they changed this cable, that it's not a separate piece now. It's actually hardwired into the box. And the box is supposed to be somewhat waterproof. Or water resistant, so you can put it under the engine bay, versus this box has to be, or recommended to be, inside the cabin of the car. Okay, what was the other stuff I wanted to show you guys? Oh, I'm going to stock these things now for the terminated harnesses. These are the breakouts for the fuel injectors. These are a 6-pin plug, and then it's 4 fuel injector plugs. This is these actually are for stock injectors, and want to make the terminated harnesses so that you can switch back and forth between the stock injectors and like the different plugs for the high Z injectors, the fuel injector clinic injectors, the bigger stuff, without having to chop up your $950 custom made harness. So we're going to put this breakout plug in the main injectors and in the secondaries. And the default harness came with only the secondary plugs broken out. So we're going to make the primary injectors and the secondary injectors broken out so that you can use the same this same individual little breakout harness and switch these back and forth. If you, I don't know, you get a set of high Z injectors that you're running at the track and the injectors get plugged and you need to make the car run, you're going to throw a set of the old style 1650 Blue Maxes in it, and you need these plugs. You don't want to go chopping the harness up. You just grab one of these extra harnesses, and it'll function as both a secondary harness and as a primary harness. So it's like kind of a universal part. So we got a few of those in stock today. We got a few more cam triggers. This is the same thing we're doing with the injector breakouts. We're doing with the excuse me, with the cam and crank trigger breakouts. That if you change the crank or the cam sensor configuration on the car, you don't have to rewire it. We're going to have these on the shelf to make it hot swappable. So this is actually set up for 2GB cam angle sensor and Kigley 12-tooth crank trigger, which is, frankly, let me see if I can get this thing up close. It's the same plug on both ends. It uses the same Mitsubishi sensor, so it you can keep one spare in your trailer that works for both. You can keep one spare actual electronic sensor that can be used in both configuration or both places, and this piece is going to be, again, hot swappable if you say don't have a spare crank sensor, or you don't have time to get into the crank sensor at the track to change the actual sensor. You could just pull this piece out, use 2 seconds, be right back. Let me grab the other one. Like this is the breakout plug for the first gen cast with 4 wires. So this is set to run for just a factory cam angle sensor. So you could, at the track for diagnostic purposes, you don't have time to change the crank sensor at the track. If it fails, you can just unplug the breakout, swap this one in, stick a 1G cam angle sensor on it, set the base timing, go down the track. Oh, so we're going to keep the different varieties of these on the shelf. The for 1G CAS, for 2G cam and crank, and we're also going to keep it for actually don't have any of them yet, but for that's set up for 2GA for the for the for the 2GA cam and crank sensor, where the cam sensor is underneath the timing belt. You need a longer wire than this little short one. So that's going to be one of the next ones I order a stack on. Also going to keep keeping these 6-pin DTM connectors. That's the piece for here. That's for the injector plug. So if you have an older harness that doesn't have the primaries broken out already, you can add that in. Another thing I'm going to keep on the shelf, sets of these. We're the Haltech specific Crimper kits. Actually bought this one to keep here for when I have to modify harnesses as they come in and come out. So this should be all the tools you need to work with these kind of plugs. I think this is like 180 bucks for the set, but you know, nothing pisses me off more than when I'm trying to work on something and don't have the correct tool and use the wrong tool to crimp one of these, and there's never extra pins. There's always, like if this is a 6-pin connector, there's literally 6 pins and the connector in here. You screw up one pin, that's the end of that. So that's that. What's this? Dual switch panel kit. Huh, okay. I don't know if I've shown these things out yet either. We're going to use this piece for trim knobs that go on the dash. Pop one of these open. These are little 12-position rotary knobs that get wired into a 0 to 5 volt input. Comes with these fancy little stickers that are like 1 through 12, or 0 through 6 to -1. I think I'm going to have my vinyl guy make custom stickers on here that have our logo and have some meaningful utility on this. Like if we're going to use it for boost control, we're going to use it for the, like say if we're going to run a nitrous kit and we're going to use a high-speed relay and we're going to pulse the nitrous solenoid to have an adjustment for how much nitrous to give it. You know, maybe we'll have this set for 0 to 100% duty cycle or something like that. Or if we're going to set it for, use these rotary trim knobs for setting launch RPM. You know, maybe the 2-step rev limiter is set for a specific car at whatever, 4,500 to 5,500 in 100 RPM increments. We'll make these stickers that say what we're going to set up the rotary knobs for. So that's something to be done in the long run. But this kit comes with this neat little plate. Let me put this together real quick so you can see what this actually looks like. Oh, and it comes with a yellow knob. I love yellow. Okay, so this comes with a small little plate. This is like 4.5 inches by 2 inches for that holds 2 of these knobs. There's a little nut. This goes together. Simple as that. You can install this in the dash pretty much any place. So this goes into a 0 to 5 volt input into the Haltech ECU, and then you can configure your axis of most of the tables. You can configure this for like your boost control target table for a closed loop boost, where you can set the rotary trim knob to say, like, you know, target minimum boost of 20 at the first setting, and then go in 2 psi increments so that this effectively works like a boost controller. You could set this for launch RPM. You could set this for for an auto car, like adding the amount of time that the nitrous stays on until in first gear. Kind of like the sky's the limit of what you can do with these rotary trim knobs. So this is kind of the next little project we're going to play with, of configuring these in the software and also getting our custom little display covers and getting these set so that our harnesses come pre-wired with 2 0 to 5 volt inputs, grounds, and powers, and the plug's already set on the interior side of the harness so that it is literally plug and play, so that you don't have to, I'll have to get the crimpers out. All right, well, cool morning. See you guys later.